Hello, my name is Dr. Arani Alankubaran and I am the Head of South Asian Collections here at the British Library. Sinhalese collections in the British Library are very rich and diverse. They not only include Pali, we have paper and copper plate manuscripts too, but we also have a very rich collection of about 2,000 early printed items, dating from when printing was first introduced in Sri Lanka in the 17th century. I'm here at the moment in the British Library's Asia and Africa Studies reading room. I'm surrounded by the Hugh Nevill Collections catalogue that I have in front of me. It details all of the 2,227 manuscripts that are held within the Hugh Nevill Collections in particular. It makes up the majority of our Sinhalese palm leaf manuscript collections, which number in exact total amount of 2,464. The wonderful thing about digitisation is that it opens up access to the collection items. We can also preserve the original items so that it's used necessarily less, it doesn't have to be used as much, and the items are visible all over the world to everyone for enjoyment, for research, for many purposes. So it's one of our core aims is to make the collection as widely accessible as possible. Our pilot project is generously funded by Paramaththa and ICTBUK. We are also supported by the UK Sri Lankan High Commission and Birkbeck University of London. Today we're going to take a look behind the scenes at the British Library's Conservation Centre and Imaging Studios to take a look and see how we digitise and conserve palm leaf manuscripts. We're here in the British Library's Conservation Centre with our conservator Sam. Thank you for being here today. We have a wonderful array of collection items from the Hugh Nevill collections here with us. What sort of things do you look for pre and post digitisation checks for conservation?
We just want to make sure that the item looks the way it does when it went to digitisation, right. And no extra damage has occurred during the digitisation process, and that's why it's quite important to make sure that we do a full assessment beforehand and do any conservation repairs. Here you can see some historic pest damage. So also just the edges can sometimes be quite frayed and catchy. That's the type of thing that I'm looking for. So for that I'll be doing surface cleaning and repairs. I'm going to use a brush just to really lightly brush away any surface dirt. I'll go the whole way through like this. Brushing here, you can see there's a little bit of historic pest remnants. And actually to remove that, I'm going to use a sponge to chemically dry clean the surface. This is actually from the cosmetic industry, but it's very soft and it won't abrade the surface. So I just do that really carefully on the surface. I want to avoid any of the text so I don't disturb the ink.
So Sam, you mentioned about the breakage in palm leaf manuscripts such as this. How would you begin to address a damage like that?
So I'll normally score the remoistenable tissue to the size that I need. As I've mentioned earlier, you can tone the tissue as well. So we have a clear one, which is very fine Japanese tissue with long fibres, so it's very strong. And then I would just choose a little area and begin to lift it, and then I place it on here, and this reactivates the gelatin which is in the remoistenable tissue.
And is that to enable it to hold or to...
Yeah, it's really quick to dry as well, so it's really a minimum amount of moisture being introduced to the palm leaf.
We're now here in the British Library's imaging studios. I'm joined here by my colleague Carl, who can tell us a little bit more about the digitisation process. Thank you, Carl.
Hi, I'm Carl Norman. I'm one of the senior imaging technicians or photographers at British Library. I've been here about 15 years now, and I've been privileged to see a lot of material through Kazwini, Ganitsa project, all sorts of projects, and of course this project here, which I did last year.
So the manuscript that we have here today is one of the more beautiful parts of the Hugh Nevill collections. Here is a special illustrated painted board from inside the Pali manuscripts boards. So the outside is also beautifully illustrated, but the inside actually tells a story. So it's the Great Renunciation, so it tells the story of Buddha's enlightenment, or his journey to beginning of his journey of his enlightenment. So you can see his travels over the river and becoming who he is meant to be.
Okay, so this is pretty much a typical way to set up palm leaves to be shot. Make sure there's no dust anywhere in the shot, and then finally take the image. I've just taken of this first page of the manuscript, and we could also just visually check and make sure that we've got everything at 100%, so everything's in focus and everything looks good, making sure your edges are in, etc, etc. Everything looks great.